You're watching Final Score with Wes Moore on Fox 16.
Well, for the second time in 2 years, the Razorbacks are looking for a new football coach, and former Razorback and a former SEC assistant coach, Madre Hill, is with us tonight. First things first, your reaction when you heard the news this morning that Chad Morris had been dismissed?
Well, it wasn't shocking. First of all, you hear so many rumors, the product that was on the field, people was reaching out. It was kind of expected.
When you start losing to Western Kentucky like they did, when you lose to the non-conference teams like they did, and then don't show the improvement in the SEC, I think the writing's on the wall.
It really is, especially when you're expected to win the non-conference games with your young players. That's fine. That's totally expected. We understand that there might be a growth process through the SEC, especially being in the West, but unfortunately we did not see any improvement from non-conference play.
Where do you see this program right now?
Well, with me being a major donor to the program, I see the program in a situation where it's very critical and it's a very fragile state. We have to hire somebody who's experienced. No more projects. We can't afford any projects. And most importantly, we cannot hire anybody in the past that's going to divide our state. So with that being said, there are some great coaches we have had in the past, but there are some situations that has followed them, and which has divided our state. Our state is already divided enough. We have to come together as a small state and move our program forward.
When you look at this team, a lot of young players, a lot of freshmen, talented freshmen that they brought in.
Right.
I would think it's still an attractive job for coaches out there that they would want to coach at Arkansas and coach in the SEC?
Oh, most definitely. First of all, you're talking about not only the best division in the country, which being in the SEC West, but the best conference in itself. Our program have great facilities, some of the best facilities in the country, no doubt. We're able to go out and successfully recruit a successful coach. Here's where we are as a program that we really have to be careful of. We have to bring somebody who knows Arkansas, who has some form of roots, who understand what this state is about. I'm talking about somebody who can talk to corporate in the Northwest and also talk to the Delta formers in the South, who can reach out and bring this state together. There's no divide. We cannot have any divide. Let me be very clear with that. We have to have somebody who's going to invest in this state, who wants to be here first and foremost. We need a winner.
Where do you think it all went wrong for Chad Morris?
Well, I think it went wrong with Chad when he tried to mimic Dabo Swinney. He watched him, but see, here's the difference with Dabo. I was coaching at South Carolina with Steve Spurrier as his running back coach at that time. And what Dabo did was he surrounded himself with very veteran, rooted guys from South Carolina at that time. Some people who knew the Clemson program, who took pride in that program. And when Chad came in, he was able to be overseen by those guys. Well, what happened was he had just gotten on his feet at South Carolina. He brought some young guys with him, and then he brought those guys here. As a head coach, you cannot be the smartest guy in the room. If you're the smartest guy in the room, that's a problem first and foremost. And you got to have somebody who's able to take the bull by the horns and guide the program in the right direction.
What will you remember about the Chad Morris era?
Great recruiter. I mean, you got to give him his due. He was a great recruiter. First time in a long time since Frank Broyles have we had such a great recruiter for the state of Arkansas. But at that time, you know, he just couldn't put the staff together.
Do you have any candidates in mind?
Yeah.
That you would like to hear that at least they interview these guys?
Well, I definitely think that they should bring in Butch Davis. That's no doubt about it. He wants the job. He's always wanted the job. He's a national championship head coach. He understands how to build a program from scratch. And there's many others out there as well. But I think you have to bring that guy in and interview.
The first thing when you said his name, is he too old, or is he too far in his career to where he would want to take on a project like this and be able to take on a project like this?
Yes, he's able to take on a project exactly like this because he's a strong administrator. He's going to go follow the same blueprint Mac Brown did at North Carolina. I mean, their program was similar to ours. It was going array. Everybody was up in arms, and Mac came in and settled the sea and brought in some coordinators who can handle both sides, and he administrated over. Again, it's Bobby Bowden back in the day.
You know, the way times have changed now with that early signing period in December, how crucial is it you think they need to get someone in place in at least the next month? I would say at the most.
Yeah, they have to have someone in place immediately. I mean, at least a name, someone, and it's totally different in this time because of the transfer portal for the players. Yeah. I mean, you have to get somebody in there who can wrap their arms around them and say, hey, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going, and this is how we're going to be successful.
When you look at the last two games at LSU, here against Missouri at War Memorial Stadium, what do you want to see from this team without their head coach, with Barry Lunny as the interim? What do you want to see as a fan, as a former Razorback?
Well, I'm excited for Barry Lunny first and foremost. He was my former quarterback back in the day. We went to the first SEC West championship. I think Barry understands what Arkansas is all about. I think that in this short time period that he has, he's going to get those guys excited about being a Razorback. That's what you have to do first and foremost. X's and O's, that'll come. But if the guys are not buying into what the Hog truly means, then it doesn't make a difference.
And buying in what you're trying to accomplish.
Exactly.
I think we've seen that the last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Madre, it's good seeing you.
We'll pig.
We'll talk to you soon. Maybe after the next head coach is announced.
Sound good.
Madre Hill with us. Stick around. We'll be right back. You are watching The Final Score with Wes Moore.